Today I want to draw something with a skull. It's been a little while since I've done anything with a skull, so I'm just going to start sort of playing around here. So I sort of feel like with skulls they can be quite sort of stylized, and it's a fun thing to do. I'm thinking of sort of having like a skull, kind of lanky skull guy, like this, kind of longer arms. So I wanted to play a little bit with sort of body proportion with this one, because a lot of my characters are quite sort of, you know, little cartoony type ones. This one I wanted to kind of go a little bit different with it, and maybe with a bit of movement, so sort of like a walking type pace. The arm kind of, it's hard to get a hunch sometimes with the shoulders, but once you do, it's pretty good. Alright, big sort of shoes there, and we're sort of working with like body styles. So I'm going to make sure, like right here, that's where the sort of rib cage is. Oops, sorry, that doesn't look great. But yeah, this is sort of where the rib cage sits. And then you kind of have like the belly tucks in a bit under that. So again, when you're kind of thinking like this, you got to think, what does, taking into account anatomy, but also taking into account the cartoon style, because that's gonna have a bit of an impact too. Okay, so we're getting there with this one. It's just going to be a real steady walk. I'm going to kind of make him a little bit sort of creepy as well, a little bit spooky. Little finger kind of tucking up there. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll get this right, and then I'll just have to work a little bit with the proportions. Just sort of get everything nice and balanced, but still have a bit of a cartoony vibe as well. Now I feel like the anatomy looks a little bit too right there, so I want to kind of mix it up a bit so it's a bit more stylized. I'm going to have this foot in the foreground and the hand will sort of be in the background, just because that will work better. Now what I want to do is I want to really kind of extend when you're working with, especially with like a cartoon style, you want to really extend the gesture so that it's got a bit more sort of flow to it and everything. So I'm just going to minimize him a bit. I want to make the head a bit bigger before I get too far down the track. Okay. And what I might do is I might sort of tuck the arms up a bit. I feel like they're just a little bit too long. And obviously when you resize, make sure if you have to add the thickness back in, that's obviously pretty important. That this kind of has almost the vibes of someone at like a theme park or something with their big sort of mascot head on, going back to work. Okay, now I'm playing around with the eyes a bit differently for this one. Normally I kind of do the big kind of sparkly eyes, so I want to try and make this a little bit different. As kind of like holes in the eyes. Okay. Alright, I'm kind of liking that. I'm not liking this hand though. I'm going to get rid of that. And this shoe doesn't feel like the right angle. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So I've just kind of turned that so it's the sole's sort of facing us a little bit more. That feels like the better perspective. Okay. Alright, I'm feeling like a little bit more shape to the skull. Now I'd like to have these kind of bubbly teeth. I don't know why with skulls. And I don't really build in the jaw either. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop the opacity down on that and add another layer. I'm going to start sort of refining this line work a bit. Now I've got 3 layers open here, I'm not sure why, so I'm just going to get rid of one just to keep my kind of space a bit cleaner. Now as you can see, I'm sort of trying to taper the lines a little bit so they have a bit of point. I'm trying to keep the thickness the same, so as much as I can. So when you kind of set it like over here, it's obviously depending on the brush you're using. Most of the time you're going to have a brush with a bit of pressure in it. So you can have brushes that don't have pressure, but you just want to take that into mind when you're trying to get your lines. So having a bit of variance in the line looks really nice, and that's why I think the pressure works quite well, but I think it can impact sort of what you're doing overall. Now, this is looking nice. So when I kind of got this shape of the skull, it wasn't really what I was intending. So it was a nice little mistake, I guess. So I'm going to keep that. And sometimes that happens, I think, where you do something you're like, that's not what I was intending, but I'm really quite happy with it. So yeah, like I said, a good little mistake to happen. Just a little upside down love heart for the nose. You can see like there's little specks where I haven't got, and that's okay. I think that's kind of good to have, because what it does is it gives it sort of texture and unpredictability, and that's a nice thing. A little bit of unpredictability, right? Just a little bit, not too much. Okay, not digging that arm. I'm just going to bring that down a bit lower. Kind of tuck the shoulder up into there. I like having that a little bit loose there. Yeah, that's better. Needed his body to kind of move out a little bit. Arms to be a bit thicker. Now we're cooking. Turn the thumb, hand goes down. So see this here, this part is right here, is a little bit too thin for me. What I might do, rather than having the shoulder, I'm just going to take that all the way up. Yeah, I think that'll look much better. I'm actually going to colour this in black. I want this part of the body to just be like a solid, almost like someone's in a skeleton suit. Actually, that's given me a really cool idea. I think I might play on that a little bit more and actually make this a skeleton suit. Okay. So you can see these lines here, they're not really working too well. So they're kind of, see how this one, it just doesn't feel right, I guess, when you look at it. So what I want to do is I want to bring this line all the way around, and then that's going to tie that up. So can you see how that sort of feels a bit different? Yeah, so I'll just keep cranking along, but I'm going to I really want to play a bit with negative space here, because we've got a lot of, like, this is quite a black and white drawing. Which it's supposed to be, so that's cool. But I'd love to see what I can do with that skeleton suit type thing. I did, if you do follow me on Instagram, I did a really quick drawing the other day that was of a little ghost with mushrooms. I really liked having just random things with mushrooms growing out of it. So I think I'm going to do that with this one too. I might play around a bit with the skull and get that looking a bit mushroomy. Yeah, sometimes you kind of land on a thing and you just want to explore that a bit more. Now, when you're using a certain brush, it's good to use the same eraser as the brush, so that as you take things away, it's going to look nice and clean and organized. So highly recommend that. The other thing I've just noticed is this is obviously quite off in the perspective. So what I want to do is you want to see the outside of that where the leg meets the kind of top of the shoe. There we go, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? Just going to draw some nice little thin lines through here. The sole of the shoe. That'll do it. So I hope this camera helps. Please let me know in the comments if it does, because I'm more than happy to keep using it. It's actually really good because I can still draw quite freely, which is nice. This angle of this back shoe's not doing it for me, but I'll find a way. This might help fix it by kind of putting in the top of the shoe, I'm hoping. I tried to shoot a video for everyone the other day, and I did it at the end of the day. I was pretty knackered, and by the end of it I just couldn't get this drawing any way right. It just kept getting worse and worse. So I ended up deciding to not post it because I don't think it would have been of any help to anyone. So, oh man, that's not working either. There. Yeah, so I know I want to embrace the imperfection of things, but that was just literally going nowhere. It was a sad state of affairs. So, yeah, that one kind of hit the cutting room floor. I think that's okay to admit. Those legs don't look right. Oh no, no, they are right. Okay, cool. So I've got this pretty well balanced. I'm going to take out the back layer. I'm digging this. Okay, so what I've done here as well, as you can see, these lines are kind of to show foreground and background. So just by having them in that position, you can kind of see. So I'll do another one up here because that arm's sitting behind, like that, and then one here because this arm's sitting in front. Okay, so just by doing that kind of gives it that. All right, cool. I am actually really happy with this. I was a bit nervous before, but I feel like this is now hitting the mark. Okay, now I want to try doing this skeleton suit, so I'm going to keep it like really simple. I'm just going to draw the brush up here, draw some ribs here. arm bone. So again, just keeping things nice and simple. Make sure you follow the curves. That's it. Yeah, that looks sweet. I'm just going to do the leg bones. I think I won't try and do the pelvis or anything. Keeping it nice and loose. Not getting too into the detail or anything. This, I think, is more just about making sure the intention's there, so you can kind of just see, oh yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm actually really happy with that. I do want to do my little mushroom on the head, but I'm actually, aside from that, I'm feeling like this one's pretty sweet. So let's do like, I reckon a little, just a one mushroom. It's kind of, take that out. Sometimes your hands just in drawing, you can't get the curves right and you don't know why. It can take a bit of time. Little spotty mushroom. So randomizing things like spots is nowhere near as easy as you think. Draw like it's kind of sprouting out of his head. We'll drop shadow on that too, I think. Lovely. I mean, yeah, I kind of want to put another one in. Let's do one more. Okay, it's looking cool. Yeah, I think we're there. Okay, cool. So there's our little guy. Now what we're going to do is color. Okay, so let's add another layer behind. Now, just for sake of time, I'm going to do an auto select. So down here, and I'm just going to select around him. Obviously, there's a few sort of broken lines there. Actually, I might try and fix them up. So when I say broken lines, basically, if you think of it as light, the light can get in and go down here. And what we want to do is we want to kind of seal this off. So what I'll do is go back to my line layer, which I'm already on, and I'm just going to color that bit in, so that kind of seals it. So you still get the same effect there, and this one too. So you still get the same effect. It doesn't look as good. You know what? I'm just going to leave it open, and I'll fix that up later. But if you do have sort of the light breaking through, you can seal that up, and it does help. Okay. All right. So let's try that again. So we're going to do auto select, fill the gaps where they are. But then you've got most of the image. Now what I'm going to do is invert it and then select the layer I want, grab the grey that I want to use and drop it in. Okay, now you see, this is why I was saying there's some bits that were left out. So that bone in the shoe, because there was a few broken lines, pretty easy fix. All I need to do is go in and just color them in. So I'll color that one up to there. And this is one that I probably should have fixed up, but that's okay. Gives it a nice effect with a couple of broken lines, can kind of go back to a bit of that hand-drawn style, but you can still color them in like I am now. So that can be a handy thing to do. Alright, so we do a new layer, we hit clipping mask, and then we color. Now I kind of want to set the background of this one first. I've got a lot of color palettes, so you'll see me scrolling through. Just find the color palette I like to use, which is sort of my branding one. I think it's a long way down. Sorry, this does not make for good content, but you get to look at some pretty colors, so that's not too bad, is it? Okay, how are we going? Probably should have had this teed up before I started filming, but anyway, here we are. That's fun. Alright, now jump across to here. Now, background wise, I wouldn't mind doing a red background on this one, so I'm gonna drop that in first, so then I can kind of match the colors to it. I'll do this kind of light bony color. And so we're doing clipping mask layer over top of this layer, because that's what's gonna make sure that whatever you kind of draw and create stays in that area. Now this is actually going to be a pretty simple color, this one, because I kind of want most of the other parts to be white. And probably the only thing is the mushrooms, so I want to be a different color. I might make them yellow. I'm going to do yellow tops on them, and I'll probably do red. I'll show you another little thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to make that a bit brown. This one a little bit beigey. Oh, and what I've just seen, see here, there's a little bit of grey that got through. So what I need to do is just erase that out. Okay, and then you get to see the gaps of it all. Let's add that yellow. Cool. Okay, now, I might actually do this dark color in here as well, just so that gives the kind of the side of that eye hole a little bit of shade, I guess. Just check you haven't missed any bits. All of it nice and clean. And actually I might do the sole of his shoe as well, just to give that little extra bit of dynamics, because if it's the same color, you can do it stylistically, but if you're not doing it stylistically, it's probably good to have a bit of extra stuff. Right, now, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, so going to do the same thing on the line layer, so I just make a clipping mask, and then I'm going to select the red, because I might do the blue. I just want to color these sort of spots in, so I'm not going to do the lines. When I get to the side line, I'm just going to go like that, okay, and do a bit of that. I like that, it's got that kind of real kind of poppy vibe to it. Like it's clashy. I think it's too clashy, I'm going to call it. I think I need something a bit less clashy. I think I've got a navy blue there I might actually drop in. Do I? Yeah, this one here. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's just I like clashy, but when it's sort of, I don't know, hard to see or something, it just doesn't quite do it for me, so let's go these ones. I think this will make a difference. Yeah. Now when I kind of do something like that, I do like to, it feels a bit weird if I don't see the same color somewhere else, so I'm going to try something. Oops, on that layer. On the boots to make them like a dark blue. Let's see how this looks. No, I don't think it matches. That's cool. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there because I think that looks pretty sweet.